morning, hey Year 5. Hope you're all doing well. I'm aware that yesterday's video we had a little bit of an issue. I did upload it, but because I'm not sending you the link every day, I don't think it was easy for you guys to access. So I've changed the privacy settings on it, so it's a bit more public. But I am going to try and send an email through the office to just direct you to the Highfield Juniors YouTube channel, and then hopefully every day the new video will be uploaded on there. So fingers crossed that's all good. Yesterday we read chapter 11 and chapter 10 and chapter 11. Today I'm going to read 3 chapters because the majority of them are literally 1 page long or 2 pages long. So again, shouldn't take us too long. And then I've got a nice idea for you as something to do if you're looking for an idea like I did yesterday with the hugs. I've got a different idea today. So let's get going. Chapter 12. So we've just left it at the end of chapter 11 where the boys are all kind of really made friends, and Bradley says, we'll beat up the girls and then we're going to go to your house and do our homework. So we're having a look into their friendship a little bit closer. Chapter 12. Just before the end of lunch period, someone knocked very lightly on the door to the counsellor's office. "Come in," said Carla. A girl timidly stepped inside. "Are you Miss Davis?" she asked. "Yes, but I prefer to be called Carla." "Do I have to tell you my name?" asked the girl. "No, not if you don't want to." "Colleen Verigold," said the girl. She sat down in one of the chairs around the round table and said, "I don't know who to invite to my birthday party." Carla remained standing. "See, there's this boy I want to invite," said Colleen. "Do I have to tell you his name?" "No." "Jeff Fishkin." Carla smiled. "But if I invite Jeff, then I'll have to invite another boy because I can't invite 7 girls and only 1 boy, can I?" "I don't, except Jeff has only 1 friend and he's the most horrible, rotten boy in the whole school. I can't invite Bradley Chalkers to my birthday party. I just can't." She took a breath. "What should I do?" "You want me to tell you who to invite to your birthday party? Laurie says you're good at solving problems." "Laurie solves her own problems. I just help her to think for herself." "But I don't know what to think," Colleen exclaimed. "I can't invite 7 girls and only 1 boy, and I can't invite Bradley." "When's your birthday?" "November 13th. "Then you still have plenty of time," said Carla. "Let me give you a form for your parents to sign. Right now I'm not even allowed to talk to you without your parents' permission." "That's dumb." "No, it isn't," said Carla. "Some parents don't want strangers giving advice to their children." "But my parents won't care," said Colleen. "They said I can invite anybody I want to my birthday party." "That's not the point," said Carla. She handed her the form. Colleen reluctantly took it. "Can't you just whisper it to me?" she asked. Carla shook her head. Melinda and Laurie were waiting for Colleen when she came out. "Who are you going to invite?" asked Melinda. "Not Bradley," said Laurie. "Please, not Bradley." "I don't know yet," said Colleen. "She won't tell me until my parents sign this form." Chapter 13. Bradley dragged his feet as he walked to Carla's office. She was waiting in the hall for him. "It's a pleasure to see you today," she said. "I appreciate your coming to see me." She held out her hand. He stepped past her and sat down on the round table. She sat across from him. "The reason the president doesn't wear a hat is because the doorways are too low," he said. "He used to wear one, but every time he walked through the door, he hit his hat and it would fall to the floor." "That makes sense," Carla agreed. "Thank you for sharing that with me." "But," she whispered, "I thought you weren't allowed to tell me such top-secret information." "The president says he trusts you," said Bradley. "Thank you, Bradley," said Carla. "I'm glad you trust me." He looked at her as if he thought she were deaf. He hadn't said he trusted her. He had said the president trusted her, but he decided to let it go. She was wearing a yellow shirt with large green triangular buttons all the way down the front. On one of the buttons was a big white exclamation point. On the other side, there was a big white question mark. "Jeff trusts you too," he said. "I understand you two have become friends," said Carla. "We're best friends." "That's wonderful," said Carla. "Today after school we're going to do our homework together at his house. I'm going to help him with the stuff he doesn't understand." "That's very nice of you," said Carla. "I'm sure Jeff appreciates having you as a friend." "I'm his only friend," said Bradley. But even if he had other friends, he won't have any other friends, Bradley interrupted. You don't know that. Yes, I do. I'm his only friend. But suppose he makes new friends. I don't want him to. But if he made new friends, then his new friends would become your friends too. He won't, said Bradley, shaking his head. Just because you and he are friends doesn't mean that he can't have other friends too, said Carla. Yes, it does. Why? Because, he said so proudly, so long as Jeff is friends of me, no one else will like him. I guess that's kind of true in a way, isn't it? Okay, a couple of pages of chapter 14 and then we're done for the day. Homework. After school, Bradley Chalkers was going to go to Jeff Finchkin's house and they were going to do their homework together. Bradley couldn't believe it. Homework! It was all he thought about as he sat at his desk, last seat, last row, and waited for school to end. Maybe it won't be too horrible, he reasoned. After all, Jeff always does his homework. He must like it. The more he thought about it, the more he liked the idea. Homework? Work you do at home. Except he wouldn't do his at home and would do it at Jeff's home, and that was even better. It would be his first time over at Jeff's house. And after he did his homework, Mrs. Ebble might give him a gold star. Instead of scribbling, he drew little stars, one after another, until the bell rang. But first they had to beat up those girls. Come on, let's go, he said, hopping out of his seat. Just a sec, said Jeff. He got a book from his desk. Oh, do I need one of those? Bradley asked. He hadn't realised that in order to do his homework he would need to bring his book home. That's okay, we can share mine. They walked outside. There was a slight drizzle. They're in Mrs. Sharp's class, said Bradley. We can wait here until they come out, then sneak up behind them. Who? Those girls. We have to beat them up so they won't say hello to you. We should probably get started on our homework right away, said Jeff. It won't take long, Bradley assured him. You just have to hit them once and then they cry and run away. But it's raining, said Jeff. It was barely misting. Good, then we can push them in the mud and get their clothes dirty. Girls hate it when their clothes get dirty. They stood about 10 yards away from Mrs. Sharp's door and waited. Several kids came out, but they couldn't see Colleen, Laurie or Melinda. Maybe they've already gone home, Jess said hopefully. No, girls take a long time to leave class, Bradley explained. First they have to put their papers neatly in their notebooks. Then they have to mark their places in their books and put all their pencils in their pencil holders. Then they put everything away neatly in their desks. He said it as though it was the most disgusting thing anyone could do. Shh, here they come. Melinda, followed by Colleen and Laurie, came out of Mrs. Sharp's room. Bradley put his finger to his lips, and then he and Jeff walked after them, keeping their distance. They followed the girls around the side of the building and along the sidewalk away from the school. Let's just go home, said Jeff. The homework might take a long time. Girls kick, warned Bradley. They don't know how to punch, so they'll try and kick you. He quickened his pace until he was just a few steps behind the girls. Jeff lagged a little behind. Laurie was the first to turn around. Ew, Bradley Chalkers, she said, making a face. Laurie Loudmouth, snapped Bradley. The ugliest girl in school. Melinda and Colleen stopped walking and turned around too. Grow up, Bradley, said Melinda. Make me, he replied. Hello, Jeff, Colleen said very quietly. Hello, said Jeff. Quit saying hello to them, said Bradley. It's a free country, said Laurie. We can say hello. Not to us, said Bradley. We didn't say hello to you, said Laurie. Just him. Hello, Jeff. Hello, said Jeff. Laurie laughed. Why don't you just leave us alone, Bradley, said Melinda. No, you leave us alone first, Bradley said, and he pushed Melinda. She pushed him back. He pushed her again. She shoved him off the sidewalk. He slipped on the wet grass and fell to the ground. Laurie laughed hysterically. Bradley scrambled angrily to his feet. You got my clothes dirty. Bradley wet his pants, teased Laurie, hiding behind Melinda. Shut up, he yelled. You started it, said Melinda. I'll punch your face in, said Bradley. He shook his fist at her. Melinda raised her fists in the air. He charged towards her, then kicked her in the leg. She slugged him in the face with all her might. Bradley stumbled backward and almost fell again, but caught his balance. He glared at Melinda as his eyes swelled with tears. "No fair! 4 against 1, he shouted, and then ran home, crying. That'll make him learn his lesson, mightn't it? Although, hurting other people is never a good idea. So, that was the end of, we've just done chapter 12, 13, and 14, because they were just really short ones. Chapters in here are quite quick, actually, aren't they? So, yeah, we're getting about a third of the way through, I'd say now. So very quickly, before I go, idea for today. I have recently, my neighbours that live on my street have put together a group, and somebody had a really good idea on there this morning, and they said, could we do almost like a virtual Easter egg hunt, because obviously there will be lots of Easter egg hunts that people usually do out in the parks or organise ones around that aren't happening this weekend with Easter coming up. So what we're doing is, like everybody's putting the rainbows and the teddy bears in the windows, we are also going to be putting a little picture of Easter eggs in our windows. So everybody's going to design their own Easter egg, cut it out, and then try and hide it in a window. So maybe don't make it really obvious. Maybe put it at one of the upstairs windows, right at the top in the corner maybe. And then at some point over the Easter weekend, when people are doing their one bit of exercise a day, they can go and see how many Easter eggs they can spot up and down the street. So that was my idea for today. If you and your neighbours are in touch with each other, you might be able to do something like that as well. Or you could set up one just in your garden or wherever you've got to do a bit of exercise with your family, couldn't you? You haven't got to have chocolate Easter eggs. You could just maybe decorate some of your own and find them and see who can find the most. Anyway, that'll be me for today. I hope you have enjoyed the next couple of chapters, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye bye.